Oh my god, what a crazy and scary beast! I'm so scared. But its fur, it looks so fluffy and soft. I wonder if I can spin it.
What can I say? If it spins, we'll spin it. And ever since I got into spinning my own yarn, I 100% endorse this sentiment. Sometimes I look at the amount of hair in my shower drain and just there's like this little spark of intrusive thoughts going through my head. Anyways, hi, my name is Nadya. I'm the face behind the Lemon channel, where every Thursday we discuss all things knitting. A few weeks ago, I have posted a video talking about combed yarns, and in scope of this video, I mentioned that I was very surprised to see a possum yarn on sale on one of the combed yarns website. Ain't gonna lie, at first I thought we were talking about opossums from America that do not actually look like they would be a pleasure to knit from or to smell the knitting made out of them. But my lovely viewers were kind enough to educate me in the comments to let me know that possum and opossum are completely different animals and share a little bit of history of possum yarns from New Zealand. And at that moment I knew I needed to do the deep dive into the world of the most unusual yarns that are existing in this world. Well, I didn't know it, but my ADHD was giving me the feeling I am gonna do that. So this video is the result of my deep dive. So today I'd like to share my findings with you. And before we start, I would like to say a special thank you to Norman from Nimble Needles for the article he published a few years ago about the most expensive yarns in the world, which helped me immensely with the research for this video. Very much recommend to go and check out Norman's article in the whole. It's gonna be in the description of the video. And now grab a beverage of your choice and let's go! Let's start with the fibers that are coming from different plants. My research has showed me that people really like to make cellulose out of literally everything. And while bamboo yarns are already like a common staple in the summer yarns universe, and pineapple yarns are slowly becoming the new trend of the summer yarns, I would like to talk about banana yarns. Now, you don't have to worry, you won't be able to slip on this yarn as if it was a banana peel. It's not like video games, but it is derived from the stem of the banana plant. Banana plant plantations are massive in the whole world because bananas are actually one of the most commonly eaten berries. And yes, bananas are berries, since bananas grow on the plants and not the trees. So technically they are berries. But did you know that banana plants only berry berries? Berries once in their lifetime. So after the bananas are harvested from the plant, it goes directly to the waste. And that's where the humans' natural desire to spin literally everything that is in their close proximity comes into play. Banana fiber is derived from the inner bark of the stem. To extract the cellulose fibers, the inner bark is soaked in water and or sodium hydroxide, which is not exactly an eco-friendly process, no matter what the companies want you to think after telling that to us. So eco-friendliness is not exactly a constant in this process, but likely there are more eco-alternative for this like cellulose derivatives process, aka using fermentation for the extraction. And this also prevents fibers from being broken, so it's like literally a win-win situation, just takes longer time. After cutting and spinning those fibers, you get a very silky and super thin yarn. That is also quite sturdy, and some even call these yarns vegan silk or banana silk, but lately I've been seeing people call literally any cellulose yarn vegan silk. So I can't really go with this trend, but what I can say is that I would love to eat a banana bread while drinking a banana milk and knitting on my banana yarn. Let's just hope that this yarn doesn't become too popular and we won't start just planting banana plants to get yarn from them, which will completely abolish the whole eco-friendly and using waste for good aspect of this yarn, because people ruin everything. If you don't really have like banana plants lying around your house, you can also go for nettles. If you collect some nettles, you can derive yarn from that, and it's gonna have not the same silkiness as banana yarn, but it will give you quite a sturdy fiber that you can work with. So just in case you don't have any banana plants around you, I mean, weird, but I guess it can happen to the best of us. So yeah, go for nettles. Another unique plant that lets us have yarn made out of its stem is lotus yarn. The historic origin of spinning lotus yarns comes from Myanmar. Traditionally, the thread itself is made by gently cutting through the middle of the stem and then pulling two ends of the stem in different directions to release the best fibers inside of it. Well, and basically then twisting two stems to create some kind of a thread. Lotus yarns are especially breathable and super lightweight, while being very strong and resistant. But I don't want to get too much into details because there's already a gorgeous video by Good Yarns Bad Knits that dives deeply into lotus yarn, so I would just suggest you go and check out her video. She'll tell you everything. The link will be in the description. Now, this category of fibers is huge. Some of these I have heard before, but some of these were a complete surprise for me. But let's start with the already mentioned possum yarns. Possums are the cute fluffy animals that live in New Zealand and Australia. Well, that's my description. If you ask a common New Zealander, they will probably tell you that they are annoying pests. They are quite little rascals. They are hard to get rid of, and they destroy local habitats of birds, while also spreading some not so fun diseases around. So they are currently being hunted down as pests and destroyed as invasive pests. But letting their gorgeous soft furs go to waste would be a waste? A huge loss. So master spinners started spinning their fur into very, very soft and thin yarns. And now I personally have never touched a possum yarn before, but my friend Amy from Fingernamed has touched the possum yarn literally last weekend. And she says that it was the softest thing she's ever touched. She was also very adamant that I need to touch it, but I am too broke to touch it and start dreaming of it, so I didn't. Maybe that was a smart idea for my budget. So if you ever are on the hunt of something to treat yourself with, you definitely should try this one, since it's even softer than cashmere, or at least people say so. Another commonly called softer than cashmere yarn is yak yarn, made from, as you could have guessed, from yak hair. But did you know that yaks are not the only huge animals that actually can be used to make yarns out of the hair of? I didn't. Because bisons are apparently the most commonly grown in North America, and they apparently have a very, very soft undercoat. Good thing about it is that you don't need to shear yaks to get to this undercoat. You can just like pluck the hairs out of them. So there is a friendly way to gather this yarn. But sometimes there's also a lot of waste reduction because a lot of their hides are going into waste after bisons are killed for meat production. So people are combing out the fibers from already dead bisons. Good thing about these fibers, though, are that they are very durable. But, well, it's not anywhere as accessible as yak fibers, so the prices can bite quite a lot. And so next time you decide to pluck hair from animals to get yarn, you might look somewhere closer to you. For example, yarn spun from dog hair has been a staple in the knitting traditions all around the world. In Russia, back warmers made out of dog fur are literally like considered to be the only proper treatment of the back, like lower back pains. So though not all dogs will give you like the long enough staple length of their hair for easy spinning, so you might want to think about blending them with other fibers. For example, once again, Amy, she has a cute collie called Sylvie, and she collects fur from Sylvie and spins it together with Polworth wool and gets this gorgeous marbled blend of fibers that is soft and also looks amazing because only nature can give you such beautiful colors. Honestly, this yarn is so soft that we started calling Sylvie our Angora rabbit because she's literally softer than an Angora rabbit. This is insane. Just imagine how sweet the pets are. I love dogs. But let's go back to the rare yarns. We have an elephant in the room. Well, technically, to be more precise, a vicuña, not an elephant, to talk about. These cute relatives of llamas live in South American regions of Andes Mountains. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce the word, but I would assume it's Andes. And they gave us one of the most expensive yarns in the whole world, with prices reaching thousands of dollars per 100 gram of yarn. And it's not for no reason. First of all, vicuña is considered to be the most comfortable yarn to wear next to your skin in the whole world. And second of all, each animal only gives you about 300 grams of fiber in 2 years. Not only that, the collecting of those fibers can only be done by 3 of the licensed companies that can do that, because they also need to be licensed, and they basically promise that they will keep up with the traditions that were made by the local native population that have some traditions that are connected to vicuña shearing. Doesn't get more fancy than that. Well, technically it does, because vicuña, surprisingly, is not the winner in the fiber thickness and softness between the most luxurious wool wearers. The finest hair out of all animals on the whole planet Earth goes to chartreuse. It's wool made out of endangered type of antelope. They're called chiru, and they live on a Tibetan plateau close to the border with China. Each animal produces around 150 grams of wool, and they're killed to obtain this wool because they're wild animals. They don't really expect people to come chopping their hairs away. As you can guess, humans are greedy, and they were hunting down those poor antelopes for a long time, so they became very much endangered species. So nowadays these yarns are literally considered legal, not only for trade, but sometimes even for having them in your possession in a lot of countries. So the only place you can buy those yarns, or like stuff made out of these yarns, are black markets. So I wouldn't even be able to tell you how much it would cost you, but maybe that's for the better, honestly. I really hope that people that buy themselves these very expensive scarves, where each of the scarves required 5 lives of antelopes to be wasted just for the fur, I really hope they at least understand the gravity of the situation. But once again, if they have like 20,000 euros to spend on a scarf, they probably don't really care about anything. There are no ethical billionaires in the world. Well, let's go even further from the comfort of our own homes. Let's go deep into Arctic and talk about Arctic fox yarns. This yarn is so rare that even finding information about it on the internet was a nightmare. The only info I could find was actually from the website of the only producer of this yarn in the whole world. They are called Nunavut, who gets their Arctic fox hides from the local hunters in the Nunavut region of the northern part of Canada. These hunters hunt foxes to feed their families and use the hides of Arctic foxes to make, for example, household items, but not all hides fit their requirements, so they sell those hides to this brand, who then uses local communities to help them spin up yarn out of those hair. And the yarns are described as extremely fluffy and soft, and I saw pictures of garments made in it. They look so soft and fluffy. Honestly, I'm a bit more intrigued with this yarn than the ones from vicuña, because Arctic foxes by themselves are so fun and smart. I just love those animals. But if you want to try something similar, but well, less exotic and still as soft, you might want to go for mink yarn. It's much more easily accessible, still just as good. Doesn't usually come in the same light gray color though. The last animal yarn I want to talk about is Cervelt, trademark. Yarn acquired of New Zealand's red deer. Only 20 grams of pure Cervelt is collected off a single deer, making quite a luxury to knit with. What's interesting about this yarn is that fibers of these red deer don't have crimple in them. They only have a steady curl, which makes this yarn unusually springy and bouncy. But as I said, this yarn is trademarked by a single company, so not only are there not a lot of options to choose from, there's literally one option, but it's also very, very costly. It will cost you about a few $100 for a skein of this yarn. But hey, if you have a few $100 just lying around, maybe that's something you would like to investigate. However, I wasn't able to find this option for sale online, so you might need to actually travel to New Zealand to buy it. Well, I mean, great journey is always a good idea, right? Now, there are only 2 yarns I found interesting enough to be mentioned in this category, so if you have any other suggestions, please tell me in the comments. I would love you to share some more knowledge with me. The first one is recycled silk yarns. While it doesn't sound that impressive, in reality it is amazingly soft yarn with an indescribable feeling to the touch. It's just so silky. Silk that is silky, groundbreaking. I have just acquired some silk fibers that were made from recycled Japanese kimonos. And I've been spinning it lately, and I'm so impressed with how luxurious it feels. Just imagine using these gorgeous colors in color work. It is so much fun, and it just sparks creativity, and literally sparks because it has some sparkles in it. The second kind of yarns that are honorable mentions are milk yarns. I'm telling you, people will spin literally anything, so they decided to take proteins from the milk because, you know, like animal fibers, they are protein based. So they were like, why don't we take protein from other sources like milk? And using chemical processes that are very well shown in this video that I'm gonna link in the description as well, they started creating little cheesecloth out of cheesecloth. Get it? Cheesecloth, cloth made from cheese. I do not think this yarn would be a delight to work with, but it sure sounds unique. For me, the biggest challenge would be not trying to eat my own knit if I was knitting with cheese. I love cheese. I am lactose intolerant. Does it stop me? Never. Anyway, that's it for today. I would appreciate if you shared any cool yarns that I haven't mentioned in the video in the comments, because I would love to learn more about the yarns that I didn't dive deep enough for. As usual, if you like this video, I would really appreciate you subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, pressing the like button, pressing the hype button, and maybe following me on other socials such as TikTok or Instagram, where I share more of my knitting life. Hope you found this video interesting and useful, and I'll see you in the next one.